Hey everyone, welcome back to our final lesson this week. It's been so much fun teaching you all, and we are so excited and anticipate seeing how you guys will grow and learn throughout the years as you continue to practice and continue to learn. Today, we are going to focus on a special etude, which is just a fancy word for a small piece of music that we've written specifically for you. It's going to incorporate all of the rudiments that Bernie was showing you in lessons 3 and 4, and one of which is a flam. You've got some roughs. I'm going to stop right there because at the bottom of this piece of music, you're going to see you've got a quiz, and that's to identify all the rudiments that are in this. So take a minute, look over this piece of music, and see if you can identify all the rudiments that are in this. So, remember in lesson 2, we talked about sight reading. This is a perfect example to start with. So the first thing I'm going to do is, before I even play it, I'm going to take a look at it and see if I can notice anything that may be problematic or things I should watch out for. Right at the beginning, you can see that there are some repeat signs, and they start at the beginning of measure 1 and then the end of measure 4. So that would mean you'd play section A twice. And the same thing happens in section B. You've got the repeat signs there. And section C as well. You've got the repeats. So that is something to make a mental note of before you even get going. We've got dynamics, P, which is piano, so quiet. You've got mezzo forte, which is your medium, just your generic good starting place volume. And then you've got forte, which is loud. What else we got here? We got a couple accents. You hit them a little bit louder. You give a little more emphasis to them. And then what we maybe didn't talk about is this hairpin looking thing. And all that means is you're getting louder. It's called a crescendo. And depending on which way it's facing, it's either you're getting louder or getting softer. And you can see that because it starts small, or let me use this hand, starts small and then it gradually gets bigger. That means you're going to start softer and gradually get louder. In section B, where that happens, you see that we're playing piano, or soft, throughout most of the exercise. And then when we get to that third bar, you're going to gradually get louder until you get to forte. To finish it all off, we've got a 5-stroke roll, which was one of the rudiments we worked on. We've also got a few triplets as well, which are the triplet things that Bernie was showing you how to do. So now that we've taken a moment to glance at some of the important things we need to take note at, I'm going to set this metronome to 70, which I think that, let's start there. And what I like to do is to start slow. As Bernie said, speed kills, start slow. And then what we're going to do is stay at this tempo until we can comfortably get through the whole piece. And if we start it and it's too hard, just slow the metronome down and we'll start again. All right? So I'm just going to play section A for now as an example, and then we'll try and break it down. All right? Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, so that was done without the repeat. Let's just talk about it real quick. So we've got a flam. So as Bernie said, flams they sound like how you say it, flam, flam. You've got 2 hits in there, one's louder and one's softer. And so if you look on this piece of music, we've also got a bunch of R's and L's throughout the whole thing. If you haven't figured out by now, R means right hand, and L means left hand. So anytime you see that, it's just telling you which hand you should be playing with. And the reason that those stickings are in there is, 1, just to be helpful, but 2, we've got a couple paradiddles, we've got some doubles in there, and those are just to help you play those. All right? So Yeah, again, a flam. Since we're starting with the right hand, your right hand's going to be up higher and your left hand's going to be lower. So if we put the metronome on, right, there's a flam, but because it's piano, stick height, as we've talked about, comes into play here. So we got to play it a little softer, start with lower stick height. So let me just play bar 1. Cool? Fairly simple. You guys can do that. Take a moment. Let's just play bar 1. All right, bar 2, and we've got a rough, or as Percussive Arts Society calls them, a drag. All right, and so the sticking for that one is 2 lefts and a right. The right is the main note that we're going for. Right, so that is going to be the focus, and the 2 lefts are just like icing on a cake. You're just kind of adding some niceness, but the main meat and potatoes of this is that right hand. All right, so let's do bar 2. Here we go. All right, fairly simple. Let's give that a try. All right, now that you're comfortable with those 2 bars, we've got bar 3, which starts our paradiddles. Again, like Bernie, this is one of the most fun rudiments. It's just, you can use it on a lot of things, and they're just a lot of fun to play. So this first one starts with the right hand, and then we go straight into a left-handed one. All right, so now we're at mezzo forte, so we're playing a little bit louder. Let's give that a shot. All right. Of course, we're adding the accent on the downbeat. This last measure might be one of the harder measures in the piece, just because of where the rough and the flams are. So we've got, again, a right-handed flam, so we'll start with that. And then you've got 2 eighth notes followed by a rough. Now, because of how close the eighth notes and the rough are together, or drags, this is probably one of the trickier areas to get in time. So to practice that, we get our metronome on. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, so the goal, let me add this accent in, if it wants to help me do that. There we go. All right, so now that we've got the accent, let's try it again. 1, 2, ready, go. All right, so the difficulty is going to come in adding the little bit of space between that second eighth note on beat 2, 1, and then quickly making that. So I would really, really slow that down. I'm at 70 now, but maybe even slow it down much more, and just loop that 1 bar. That's something that I like to do with something that is difficult. I just repeat that. I isolate it. I recognize that that's going to be a little more challenging, and then I just repeat it until it feels comfortable. And you can repeat it back to back, or repeat it and then add a bar of space. So let's do that. Let's add a bar of space after it. So here's the very last measure. 1, 2, ready, go. Add a break. All right, give that a shot. All right, now we're moving on to section B. Now we're getting some 16th notes. And if you'll notice, the sticking that we have for those 16th notes are very much like the double stroke roll. So you're going to use right, right, left, left. All right, and the same thing in bar 3 of section B, you're doing the same thing. You're just doing a double stroke, but kind of like Bernie's speed kills thing, you're changing the rate. So you're starting with 8th notes, and then you're suddenly going to 16th notes. But these are doubles as opposed to the singles, which are in speed kills. All right, so I'm going to play this line through, and then we'll break it down. All right, I'm going to speed it back up. So for now, I'm not going to do it with dynamics. We're just going to play it straight through, just the rhythm, all right? Here we go. All right, one more time now with the proper dynamics. Cool. So for the most part, it's fairly simple. The triplets, again, as Bernie said, it really helps to say the word triplet when you're trying to play it because it helps you time that perfectly. So if we just do measure 2 of section B, let's loop that for a second. 2, 3, 4, 1, triplet 3, 4, 1, triplet 3, 4. All right, now let's play it. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, triplet 3, 4. 1, triplet 3, 4. All right? And the last bar is very similar, except you have a rest. So that's pretty simple. You guys can get that. Why don't you take a moment and just run through that? All right, now we're moving on to section C, and this one has both 16th notes, we got 8th notes, quarter notes, we've got triplet, but now we're adding in a roll. This will be the only roll that we're adding in on this etude. So let's talk about that. It's the 5-stroke roll, and let's do it. Here it is. It's going to be a right hand lead, so you're going to start with your right hand, and you go right, right, left, left, right. All right? 2, 3, 4. All right, so let's just do one of those. Again, let's slow that down. 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. Even slower. So I'm now at 50 on this metronome. And because it's so slow, it's always good to maybe add in the subdivision. The slower you get, sometimes adding a subdivision is really helpful. So now I'm adding in 8th notes. 1, 2, ready, go. 3, 4. Cool, give that a shot. All right, so now that we've worked on the 5-stroke roll, let's play that bar. So this is bar 3 of section C, okay? So here it is, and it's mezzo forte, which is just a comfortable, regular volume. Here we go. Again. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. One more time. Right, left, right, left. Okay, so maybe run that a couple of times. Again, even slower. All right, this is currently set to 40, which is very, very slow. But as Bernie says, if you can't play it slow, you're not going to play it cleanly fast, all right? So it's really important to break this down. You know, we call this playing because, you know, it's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be like a game. So make a game of it. How slow can you play it and be exactly on? You know, if I take away this 8th note, it's really hard. So then what do you have to do in your mind? You have to subdivide. 2, 3, 4, 1 knee and 2 E and 3 E and 4. Like that's actually really hard to sit there and play it like that. So really experiment with that. But for the sake of this thing, I'm going to add the eighth notes back in just because I want to be kept honest. All right. So here it is, 40 BPM. 1 and 2 and 3 E and cool. All right, give that a shot. 40 BPM. All right, so now the last measure. This one's pretty simple, but we've got 2 accents, and it's our paradiddle. It's a fun way to end. All right, so it's just right, 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 left, right, right, left. And really put a little extra emphasis on that last one because we're finishing the piece. All right, so I'm going to bump the tempo back up now and play this down at like 50. For the sake of time, I'm not going to do the repeats, but you should absolutely do the repeats. 3, 4. All right, here we go from the top. All right, so a couple things I noticed just reading this through for the first time is when we got to the triplets, there's still ever so slightly where I'll get off the metronome. And so again, that's something that I would take apart and really just practice at a 50 BPM. Just loop it over and over and over and over until there's absolutely no guessing involved. All right, so here's bar 2 of section B, just because that was the area where I felt like I got off the metronome just a little bit. So right, cool. So that's just an example of what you would do. And on that last measure, I played the wrong sticking. And that's okay, because overall I played it right, but you just got to pay attention to those kind of things. Make sure you're playing the right stickings, make sure you're playing the right dynamics, and then adding the right accents and stuff. For you guys, this is just a small example of how to practice this. You know, start small. Start with just section A. Play section A with just the same dynamic, and then you can add in dynamics, and then you can add in the flams and the roughs and the drags. But start simple. We really want to encourage you guys to record yourselves playing this etude or at least a section of it. If this is too difficult, maybe just start with A and let's record yourself playing that. If you feel like you can get most of it, do A and B. And then absolutely, if you can play the whole thing, that would be great. And this is something that may take, you know, a couple days, it may take a week, it may take a couple weeks, but that's just part of the journey and part of learning. Really dig into it, make it as perfect as you can, but have fun with it, you know, speed it up, slow it down. But as Bernie was saying, you got to start slow and then gradually build it up. And if you actually do build this up to quite a brisk tempo, this is pretty hard. So have fun with it. Check out the homework and the quiz. How many rudiments are being used in there? Can you name them all? And then record yourself playing this. One of the best things someone told me was to record yourself playing, because in the moment it may feel like you're playing it right, But if you stop and watch a video or hear a recording of you playing it, you may notice there are a couple things that can be improved upon. All right? Have fun, enjoy it, take a video, and can't wait to see them. All right, everyone. This is me playing Etude for Florida #1 at 120 BPM.